Hello everyone, welcome for this new episode of Timeout from Tamriel. Hi Taltia. Hi Sigtric.
Hi, Elloa. Haven't spoken
Hello.
to you recently.
How
I
are
feel like
you?
we just did this.
Oh,
Rage, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm fine. And you?
You're fine. The first time we did this, you were excited. Now you're just fine. You had to laugh there. Okay. All right, what are we talking about today, Elloa?
We are talking about Dragon Bones, the new patch, the new DLC that just has been released.
Okay, I'm gonna link the patch notes in the chat this time, and then also in if you're watching this in the past, it'll be in the description of the video. So Sigtrix, Dragon's Bones, because I know you don't know what it is. Alfred, basically it's a free DLC, right? Free, yeah. It's with the base game, right? I want to make sure I get that right.
Well,
Well,
it's ESO Plus.
Okay, ESO
Or,
Plus, or you buy it.
or Crowns, right?
Okay, my bad. So I guess not free, but it doesn't offer a new zone. It just offers 2 new dungeons, which have some new gear in there, and offers a new battleground for people that have Morrowind. And they changed the battleground system to be no champion points. Talk about that. Outfitting system, which is a part of the base game, right or no?
exactly. That's
Okay.
for free. And the new Battleground are for free as well. If you have Morrowind, of course.
Okay. And then they offered home storage, which had a little bit of problems. We'll talk about that. And skill advisor, level up advisor. So, Dragon Bones DLC, we're going to kind of briefly touch about our overall opinions and then get into the nitty gritty with it. So, let's go with Loa first. Your overall opinions of the patch so far. What do you think?
I think that it's a good patch because you have something for everyone. You have 2 new dungeons. The new dungeons are very good. They are designed to cater different kind of players with different level of difficulties. You have new gear and new things, new achievement to get, so you can be busy if you want. And the 2 new dungeons are really good, in my opinion. And then you have this outfit system that so many people have been asking for so long. And we can already see the Twitter feed, the Discord the chat,
Oh, yeah.
all cramped with screenshot of your new look and stuff like this. Home storage, people wanted that too. Skill advisor, we can talk about it. We have talked about that a little bit earlier when we started the episode, but now we can give proper feedback because we have experienced it. So
Okay.
yeah.
So, you're liking it?
Yeah, I think it's a good DLC. It's nice.
Okay. My opinion is I really like the DLC, and I kind of can't put my finger on why. Like I almost went to black hole mode, which if you don't know black hole mode, Gamerland is like you get sucked in, and that's all you can do is play the game.
Okay.
Right. So I had to like kind of go. All right, you got responsibilities. You still got to work out. You got to eat 1,000 times a day. You got all these other things that I do, and the new dungeons, we'll get to them, a little bit buggy, but it was just fun and exciting to be, hey, can we be the first to get hard mode done? Hey, can we, get this gear? What's really going to happen? Because we didn't even do it on the PTS. And to be able to solve it really fast was quite fun and challenging. We were yelling at each other, getting mad and stuff because, we're competitive. But it really gave me that camaraderie of trying something challenging. I usually don't get that in PvE, with a 4-man team because we've just done everything for so long. So, even now, hard mode in these dungeons aren't exactly that hard with the team that I have. But I really like that camaraderie. I felt that right away. And then you jump into the PvP side of things with no AoE caps. And, 4v4 and stuff like that, you're not going to tell. But, if you have a really strong, organized little group, you can tell AoE caps are gone. And you're just blowing up big teams. It's that camaraderie that I feel with a really small, tight knit group. And for me, Dragon Bones, I'll bang on the game when they don't do something right. I'll bang on the game. But they had really cool incentives for the new dungeons, which I made a little video about. PvP feels way more alive, and you can actually impact the game even as an individual character. Running in Dawnbreaker, you might nuke 5 people. So far, I won't mean to be a homer, but I'm loving the game right now, and I think it's a hit for me. I know that's odd. Or Seg?
Oh, what are you even talking about, man? Now, for me, I've spent a lot of time in these new dungeons, and as far as the actual content that has come with this, it's been all the dungeons for me. I haven't gone to look at the new battleground or anything like that yet, but the dungeons are fun. I like the challenge. They've got the potential to be the best dungeons in the game. They need a lot of work before that happens. But that's basically where I'm at with that, my overall feelings on it. They're fun, they're good, they need to be fixed.
Oh, we're going to get to that. Count the dungeons out, though. What else do you think about it? Like outfitting, I mean, I saw you posting 1,000 pictures on Twitter, with the lovely Argonian nudes and Dunmers. What do you think about it?
Outfitting is cool. That needs a lot of work, too, for me to really get into it. I don't like the fact that I can't use gear assets that are in the game that don't have a corresponding crafting motif. If I want to, if I'm wearing, like blood spawn, but I want it to look like Chuden, I should be able to do that.
Okay.
If I've got a whole set of the Lich gear, and I want my character to wear to look like it's wearing the Lich gear, but is an actual gear that I would use, I should be able to do that. So that's kind of what's holding me back with the outfitting system right now.
So those unique pieces and stuff like that.
Right,
okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but yeah, I mean, for its first implementation, though, I mean, it's better than not having anything.
Yeah, and hopefully, I mean, I would have to assume that stuff is coming. There's been little hints that it is, but right now, I mean, for my uses, I still prefer the costumes that I've been using, on my characters for, the last however long at this point. But the system's good. I mean, for me, I would much rather see the system as it is right now than a WoW-style transmog. That's my personal opinion. So I think they're on the right track. They just need stuff added to it for me to really get into it.
Okay. That's fair. Our segueing now. We talked about the dungeons. Let's go with Fang's Lair first, which I think is the least buggy of the two. Maybe I'm wrong, but we're gonna go Sig first. You said you spent a lot of time in the dungeons. Did you do the Fang's Lair?
Yeah, I've done both. We've yet to get hard mode clears on them, but I've done both on Vet a few times each. And Fang Lair, when it comes to level design, what you're looking at. The environment inside there is just absolutely amazing. It's an amazing looking dungeon. The art team, the people who put the actual dungeon together physically did an outstanding. Is probably my favorite between the two. As far as the content inside, it's a lot of fun. If Finn was standing in front of me right now, I'd probably kick him in the shins for the Menagerie, the Cadaverous Bear boss.
Which one? Oh, the dog
one? That's the one with the the skeleton bear, and then
you don't like that one?
Stench.
That's easy.
It's a pain in the ass when you're trying to teach people how to do it.
Oh yeah.
It's just a lot of bullshit, if you ask me.
I love that one, dude.
Yeah, I'd kick him in the shins for it, honestly.
Okay,
but outside of that, the last boss is really cool. The hard mode mechanic is really cool. I dig it. I like it. But
so you liked it, Elloa. What are your thoughts on Fang? Fangrush Lair.
Yes. So first of all, I need to confess something. I've not done the hard mode. Obviously not, as it was to be expected. I've tried the veteran on PTS, but I have not tried yet on the live server. This is going to be later. So all I will say is speaking about what I think of the dungeon, the story, the environments, right? So that's being said, I think it's a very good one. I like the new designs they have done with this openness where you can really circulate and see everything. The feel of this Dwemer Marine that is not functional anymore, so you will have no steam coming out from the pipes and anything like this. I think that the bosses are all creative. They have interesting mechanics, even on normal. Of course, they are easy, and for teams like Deltia's team, you just sneeze on them and they are dead. But still, for new players, I think they will be interesting and different from what you have seen so far. And I think that you cannot skip all mechanics through just pure DPS.
No.
I might be wrong, but I don't think you can. So the story is kind of cool as well. But from the two, it's not my favorite one. I thought I would prefer that one, but in fact, I prefer the other one.
You prefer the other one? Okay, can you tell us why? Give us a little tidbit.
I already know. Okay, I
Just
prefer
a little segue, a little bite.
Overall, the I really like the atmosphere and the boss's mechanics on the other one. I find the boss mechanics very, very interesting on the second one. More interesting.
Hate the second one.
Really?
I'm gonna rage and rant about the second one. Just wait.
I find it very fun.
Yeah, do it on hard mode.
Well, maybe not in hard mode. That I've not done. Everyone know that. I'm not doing hard mode. I'm not doing PvP.
We're not judging you. We're not judging you. No judgment here. Judgment-free zone. Her build sucks.
Yeah, so I like even the NPC. They are funny. Have you heard that Nord is called Skull Crusher or I don't know, something like that. I don't remember his name, but basically what it means is using stone to kill his opponent, right? And then at the very end of the dungeon, you can speak with him and ask him, "You do not really like me very much." He say, "Do you have a stone on your skull?" Okay, I guess you like me. So I like this little touch. It's kind of humor. The dialogue between the NPC, if you pay attention, they are funny too. In Scale Caller, the story, I find it very interesting.
Hold on. We're gonna get that second one.
Okay.
All right, hold on.
I'm stopping here.
Hold on, Scale Caller. Let me go a little bit on Fang. All right, Fang Rush Lair. I loved it. I think they kind of designed it differently than previous dungeons where essentially the hard mode is the bar. Like in other dungeons, that they have that one boss that Sig talked about, which basically it kind of sucked until you learn where to kite and stuff, but you can just DPS through about everything with the last boss, it seems like. And it really felt like the dungeon was actually quite easy besides the hard mode. Because we got no death speed our fourth run, and we got hard mode, I think, our third run after doing it for an hour and a half. And we bitched at each other and complained and stuff like that, but we got it done. We figured out how to adapt and just survive. I like the pace of it. Basically, it's like you get in there, you got some warm-ups, right? You got the warm-up, the practice squad. You got a bunch of NPC, just trash pulls. You blow them up. Then it's like boss, little bit of trash, boss, little bit of trash, boss. And then it's like trash, get ready for the dragon. You go in there and it kind of feels like, Dire Frost Keep. I love that Nordic style, that feel of kind of like undead little Nord dude running around. I like the dungeon feel. And it kind of like, it's so spacious. Where most of the dungeons are like really, you're just going down a little tunnel. You can't look left, you can't look right? This one was like, you could take a left and just walk for a good minute if you wanted. But that's not the right way to go. It was just like so big and spacious. So I thought that was really cool. So it was fun. Let's say the hard mode was really cool because it encompassed a lot of different things in one. It was a tank needed to be a tank. Your DPS needed to be mobile. Your healer didn't just have to heal. It had to do other crap to make it a lot easier. So I love the combination of mobility, damage, and being tanky, because there's a point, a mechanic where essentially the healer needs to go interrupt a caster. And you're clear across the map, meaning your DPS needs to keep themselves alive. So it's like everyone has to it's not just sit there and do Aetherian Archive, I just DPS mindlessly and I click my buttons and my rotations. You have to adapt and play. It felt more like a PvP environment where it was like everyone had to survive, and you're calling stuff out in comms. Love the hard mode, love the animations, love the graphics. Now, what I didn't like of Fang Rush's Lair, what I call it, is the loot. I think they changed the loot tables. I could be completely out of my mind here and making this up. But it felt like before I could get jewelry like that. One run, we'd have necklace, 2 pieces of jewelry for a gear set. Now I'm getting like shields every run. So it felt like shields were super rare before. Now they're just like PUD to get, and I can never get the jewelry. So
Maybe it's your cures from Zenimax that have changed your table loot.
they hate me. Yeah, you know that. You know they hate me. But I mean, that's just a minor thing because ultimately the gear system in this game is just night and day different comparatively to what it used to be. You know, grinding for specific traits, grinding for specific sets. Like, oh, my friend got a sharpened 2H axe, but I can't do anything with it. So now it's just kind of a little bit time consuming, but it's fun to run. But it really felt like once we got it down, it was autopilot. Literally 6 runs in, it was just like no death, no death, no death, no death. It was. So I was kind of a little disappointed, but I can understand what they're trying to do. In my opinion, from a development standpoint, is look, make the veteran dungeon obtainable for people so they can get the monster helm and stuff. And if you want to be superstar cool kid, here's hard mode. What I loved about it though is the reward at the end. Elloa, I bitch about incentives. Sig, I complain about incentives. Finally, I complain about it. That collection though that you got, the stupid that changes your emotes or whatever.
Oh yeah, your personality.
I'm sitting there typing Doom over and over. I'm typing Ritual. I've never done emotes. Now I'm Dawnbreakering stacks of people in PvP, and I can type /Doom, and I do this little skull helm. Oh, they're just pissed off. They're pissed off. Dawnbreaker wiped their group. They're all dead. Oh my god. Woo! I'm getting excited.
Nice. Yeah, you see, that's really cool. I would like to jump in because you were speaking about the difficulty, and here it's important for people to know that I had a discussion with the developer regarding this, and their goal is truly to have, well, the normal mode, it's normal, but it should be a little bit more challenging in comparison to the regular dungeon because it's a DLC dungeon, so it's special. So even in normal, some player might find it difficult. So if you're a new player, or if you're a bit clumsy, or if you do not have a good group or whatever, or if you build this stupid, you may find difficulties and wipe on the normal version. Do not feel ashamed. You need to adapt yourself and learn, and it's okay. Of course, for experienced players, for a good group, like I said, they sneeze on the boss and they're dead, so it's fine. The veteran version, it's more accessible to people, so it's a bit easier than the other dungeon from the DLC. So it's very important to know that the DLC are always harder than the other veteran dungeon. But personally, I don't find it easier than the other dungeon, like Shadow of the Hist. But I'm not sure if it's because my character was not as good, or if because it's new, or I'm not really sure. But I really didn't have the feeling that it was easier. So I guess if you face a wall, guys, do not get discouraged. Do not get discouraged if you see a lot of comments of experienced player that say it's super easy. What? You cannot play, learn to play, noob, haha. Because I have seen some comments on the forums regarding the difficulty that were quite disheartening for the people that face the difficulty. Elder Scrolls Online offer different type of difficulty for different players, and it's not equal. Players like Deltia, everything is kind of easy, okay? That's how it is. For other player, it can be super challenging, and you can be proud of yourself if you succeed them.
Yeah, I mean, remember, it's a game, and if you just want to complete them just to complete them and enjoy them, there's no judgment, and do the normal versions to get warmed up and see what it's like, and it's fun. So yeah, it's just new experience to play, but don't get butthurt of people on the forums that brag about it. Hey, I'm a meatball that's going to brag about beating hard mode because I'm proud of my accomplishment. But at the end of the day, I'm not a better human being than someone because I beat a hard mode in a video game. I'm sick. Worry about being a good husband, father, son, whatever, before you beat a hard mode. Because believe me, I almost black holed that we're like, I got to play all day. This is so much fun. All right, so we're moving on to... I
didn't talk about scale yet.
Whoa! Sig, you were close to the mic. All right.
I turned my head to it. Everything, Deltia, that you said about what you like about Scale Caller is spot on for me. The
About
problem
you mean about
that
Fang?
I run into with it. No, we're talking about scale collar, aren't we?
Now we're talking about scale collar.
Oh, never
Yeah.
mind. Never mind. I'm ahead of myself.
Okay, so what do you like about scale collar, Sig?
Everything you just said about Fang.
Okay. So you like the outdoors?
Yeah, I think the level design is amazing. I think Fang Lair is better when it comes to the aesthetics of the place, the way it looks, the design, But Scale Collar is amazing. The fights in Scale Collar, the dungeon, the bosses are awesome. They require you on vet and in the hard mode especially to really pay attention to mechanics, to work as a team, to get shit done. It's not a complete face roll, and I like that. I really like the challenge in there.
You like the challenge, okay?
But this is where my statement earlier that they've got the potential to be the best dungeons in the game, it's this one specifically. That last boss, even on regular vet, is so freaking buggy that not only you have to learn how to deal with the mechanics, you have to treat the bugs as mechanics. And thankfully, there's some fixes coming.
Allegedly.
Yeah, but in order for me to take people who haven't seen it on vet before in and get them a clear on vet, not only I have to teach them the mechanics, I have to teach them how to deal with the damn bugs. And that is just, I love this game, but holy shit. Come on.
Yeah, it's the same thing over and over. Look, I'm fanboying out on it, but Christ, how many patches are you going to release with buggy ass gameplay? Like it's almost mind-boggling to complete the hard mode. And yes, we did it. To complete the hard mode, you basically have to figure out the coding on dodge roll and why you're dying dodge rolling out of poison. I'll get to that in a second. I'm sorry. Every effing patch is like this. Battlegrounds, you couldn't queue. It's like, look, push it back a month. Push it back a month. It's okay. We'll take a much more polished game than something that, well, might as well just wait a week or two to play it because you can't even beat the hard mode, or it's just sitting there for 2 hours randomly getting lucky on a gas. All right, Elloa. Now scale collar. What do you like about that one?
Yes. Well, I like everything about that one. I like the story. I like the NPCs. Like I said, I find it very funny, and the lore behind it is super cool. You have this priestess, this dragon priestess. Her dragon abandoned her to die in Fang's Lair. Never mind that. So she's alone. She do not have a purpose anymore, and she gets seduced by Daedric, Prince Pyrrhit, which is also a dragon. And now she's the priestess of Pyrrhit, and she's making a cult, and they are poisoning everything. And so you have those mechanics that are really, really, really cool for each bosses. They are not easy to figure out in at least in veteran, but once you get them, they are very satisfying because you can. I like that because it's when you do not know them, you get wiped and you do not understand what's happening. I don't understand. And it's even frustrating. But once you understand, from the chaos come the order. And I find it super cool. Also, the layout of the dungeon is very interesting because this is a Orsimer dungeon, or ancient Orsimer ruin. So it's something we have not seen yet as a dungeon yet. And you really have this pass in the mountain, so you have really beautiful vistas. You need to go out in the ice, so you have different atmosphere. You have the dungeon part, which are inside, and then you have the pike, which are outside, and so you have different things. I find it really cool. And you have, yes, each bosses have very, very cool mechanics. I had been lucky to do that dungeon on veteran last week with Rich Lumber, and we had a ton of fun. We didn't finish the last boss because it was getting late, but it was really cool. And
Because it was buggy.
It was also buggy, but that's not the. I will not blame the bugs, honestly. Yeah. So yeah, the last boss fight is very interesting.
Do you guys like the last boss fight?
Yeah, I like it. It's
Oh
fun.
my
You have to go
God.
in the shield, kill
That's
the ads very
terrible.
fast.
The last boss fight, I think. So what we're seeing with that is that you've got a ton of RNG that happens.
It's all random, dude.
In that fight, and that when it comes to boss fights, I think I'm okay with a little bit of RNG, but that one's really heavy. And, you compound that with everything else that's going on in there, and it makes shit tough. But that said, I mean, the way the RNG works in there, if it was working properly, it wouldn't be so bad. Another thing that we're seeing with it, like the dragon spit, when you've got one of the 3 dragons that's shooting out poison, that's a one shot if you get caught in it. The reaction window for that is so much shorter than anything else that we've seen in the game.
Yeah, that's one I
that
dislike.
combined with the sloppy telegraph,
well, you know what the problem
is a pain in the ass.
You know what problem was with that is that you can't dodge roll out of it. You have to walk out of it.
No, you have to walk out of it.
So we spent 2 hours dodging because we're like, why not just dodge? That's quicker. And we would dodge, and we would die mid dodge roll.
Yeah, you can dodge out of it, but the problem is that you have to complete your dodge for it to count. So
right, because the coding
you have to dodge immediately. Right, exactly. So that shorter reaction window. I'm guessing that's probably 75% faster than anything else that we've seen in the game as far as terms of how long you have to get the hell out of the way. And then the telegraphs, it shows on the ground where that shit's going to hit you. They're not accurate. I don't know how many times I've seen people that weren't in it to begin with get hit by it.
Yeah, you die completely outside of it. You're like, okay, look at my body. It's that. Or here's another part. You got the Zan that tethers you, and someone has to get in front of it like Lord Warden. And then guess what happens? While they're up in the air, the green stuff, poison, comes up underneath them, and they die.
Right. Mm-hmm.
There's no way a player... I'm going in on this right now. There's no way... You want PvE to be basically fine. You want heavy movement speed and red shit on the ground everywhere? Great. I'll play Ring Around the fucking Dungeon all day. But when I cannot control how I die... If I flub, I flub. I'll be the first one to say I screwed up. But when I'm tethered and poison comes underneath me that's supposed to be random and I literally cannot react to get out of it, sick development. I'm sorry. It was just RNG. It's just like, let's just keep dying until we figure it out. We almost 3-manned it. Because it's not about DPS at that point. It's just survive for a little bit, do a little damage. Random, just death flop. Res a couple people because you're just going to die because poison's effed up. Survive a little bit. Then do some damage. Then survive a little bit. I'm sorry. It's shit. That boss is shit. Like, the thing about the reason we couldn't beat it was that dodge roll mechanic. There's 3 poison things. There's a statue. It lights up. It puts a big-ass row where you stand on. Geometry. Mm-hmm. Okay, we get it. Geometry. We're going to stand right in the middle where they split. So we just have a tiny little bit of room to go. Okay? So we're doing that. Still dying dodge rolling. Fangrush figured out, guess what? He talked to Robo when we went out there last year, and Robo says, dodge rolling, your character essentially is in one place until you complete the dodge roll, then it goes to the next place. So what was happening was the computer thought you were still here while your character was here, and the dodge roll wasn't complete. So when the poison applied, before the visual effect actually happened, y'all saw it on their stream, they couldn't do it. And guess what? They changed it too. They were in a different environment, guarantee it. They just die. So literally, we had to just walk out of the poison. So we were precise on the line. We figured out there was a little statue. You just stood right there and you would just sidestep. And it's like, when players have to figure out the bugs of the game, dude, push it back.
Yeah, there was another bug that were annoying in those 2 dungeons, or I do not know if it applies somewhere else, but we figured it out during my stream when Rich Lumber was in the group, so that was pretty cool. It's a bug where you are stuck in the AoE when you use volley or caltrops, and you need to change an option in the AoE things. You need to change
your quick cast.
Yes, instead of automatic, you need to put it on, and that's how you solve the issue. But that has been something very frustrating for a lot of time because I was stuck and saying, what? I'm break free, and I don't know what to do.
Okay,
And
that was cool. That was cool. The premise of the dungeon, I do like their development leading up to the last boss. So let's get that out of the way. I had to get my rant over with, but like the leading up to it, you're like so prone to break free when you're stunned. Like I'm just clicking the button, right? But like
yeah.
you have to actually just not break free, and like that's the mechanic of the dungeon that's kind of saying hi to you. And then at the end of it, that's obvious everyone has to do that. So that was kind of cool that they took a mechanic which like your brain is so, especially as a PvPer, break free, break free, break free. And you have to actually constantly go, no, I'm going to run into this thing. It's going to stun me. I'm going to chill for 3 seconds. And then we're going to break free. So I really like that. And then the alchemy one, or the guy that makes a potion, Elloa, I figured you would like that one. Did you like that one? Where you have to kill the ads and the guy's like making the potion, and that's how you
Oh
stop
yeah,
him. That
this
was
is funny.
It's a little bit RNG too, and that's what killed our no death run. Essentially, is where the circle you have to go plug the hole is could be like 75% across the map. So that's a little minor thing, but I thought that was really cool because it's like instead of just mindlessly kill ads. Like you see the NPC working, and you're like, "Shit, we got to get this imp down or these stranglers,"
Yeah.
You know,
What was very fun is that the first time when we needed to figure out this boss, we died, didn't understood. He said, he's making, because I didn't have put the subtitles, so my hearing was not extremely good on that one. But we hear, he's making an antidote. Where is the antidote? I was going to the table. Where is the antidote? I tried to talk to the guy. He's not talking to me. Where is this antidote? Before we realized it was a patch on the ground. So that was pretty fun. I was really bugged with that. Where's your bottle? I was imagining a bottle appearing on the table or something like
you
that.
drank it or something, yeah. And then you go in this little circle, and then you blow your ultimates, just nuke them down. You get a damage buff. So that was a really cool one. I really like that.
Yeah, I like that fight.
And the very first boss is kind of difficult because you have a melee dude and you have a ranged dude, and like it kind of incorporated something from an earlier trial, the V Mall trial, where you have to like get behind something or you'll just die. So, like, they're kind of taking new elements of game mechanics, adding them to the dungeons, and then bringing some old ones back, like Lord Warden specifically, and then the V Mall. So some things you're already familiar with, just in a different setting. So overall, it's pretty good. And then the bad part is that the veteran mode for the final boss is just nowhere remotely close to as difficult as the hard mode. It's like, in terms of ramping difficulty, it's just night and day. It's just like, I mean, you could two-man it.
They have done that intently. Well, you can two-man it. I can tell you that I can't. So they say the thing with Elder Scroll, and that's one of the problem, and we can have a special episode speaking about the difficulty of the game. There's such a gap of difference between certain type of player that are very good and skilled and that know very well what they're doing, like Deltia, and there's even better player than Deltia.
Hey.
And then you have It's Deltia will say it himself. I'm not the best player. So I'm not insulting.
Yeah, but when you say it, it hurts my feelings.
Okay, sorry. Deltia is the greatest player of all time. No one is beating him, okay?
Thank you.
But you have a very big range of players. You have players that are a lot more noob than me. You can believe that. Yes, it exists. You have players that are medium, then players that are semi-medium, players that are a bit hardcore, players that are softcore, players that are extra softcore.
You have so much. What are we describing here? Let's stick to games, okay?
You have so many different kind of level of mastery in your character and in the combat that ZeniMax cannot tune their content for everyone. So what they try to do, normal for new players, okay, veteran for average player. So it needs to be relatively challenging, but not super challenging either, that you will have too much player crying about it. So it needs to be doable when you put the effort into it. So for someone professional like Deltia, it's not very hard, okay? But that's normal. Then they try to put the hard mode really to have a reward, a challenge for the player that are the best at the game. So the player that are the best at the game can have something else than trying to get Emperor in PvP. Otherwise, there's nothing in the game
Sure.
for the best player of the game.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think this dungeon set, like if you look at, remember when Imperial City Prison was launched? No one was beating that. White Gold Tower, no one was beating that. You even look at Cradle of Shadows, the new Malakath ones or whatever the hell they're called. Basically, I really like that they took normal. It's pretty easy. Let's be honest. Vet,
Yeah.
it's okay. Like we can blow through it. But like most groups, they can beat it, and if they screw up, they can you can just sit there and just do it, and you're gonna figure it out. You're just gonna figure it out. The hard mode is like, all right, do you have big dick DPS or not? You find out real quick who is good at DPS. And the thing I love about these dungeons is, look, it's not a parse dummy. Everyone's sitting there posting their enormous parse dummy DPS posts. Great, you are awesome sitting there being on a parse dummy. That is wonderful. But can you do that when you have to heal yourself, when you have to move out of melee, when you have to travel across the map, snare, debuffed, and just you have to heal yourself to shit? Can you do all that? That's what a real DPS does. Not sit there for 6 hours every day. I got 14 more DPS on my part. Oh my god! Congratulations, bro. You're the special snowflake that dies every new dungeon. You know what I mean? I'm gonna hurt some feelings out there, but the special snowflake that parse dummies all day, congratulations. These dungeons aren't for you. All right, moving on. Now, Elloa, you don't really have an opinion on this, but the new gear sets, I don't know if Sig saw them or what do you think about them? But have you seen the new Zahn helm, the new...
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was playing around with the Zahn helm on the PTS, and when I get the right, combination of weights, I'll probably give them a shot again and see how I do with them. They look freaking awesome. The actual way they look. The proc looks awesome. It fits my my play style of set everything on fire. So I dig it. For the life of me now, I can't remember what the set is called, but one of the two dungeons has a really interesting healing set that increases the the duration of your outgoing buffs.
Yeah, by 40.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is
That's
probably
true.
the best 5-piece set that we're seeing out of this stuff.
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. I don't do a whole lot of healing, but I'm probably going to try and get myself a set of that.
Oh, I'm getting a set of that. I already got my staff. I got my staff already.
Nice.
Yeah, that's actually one of the set I was considering having, especially for my Dragon Knight healer, because she work a lot with shields and stuff.
Major mending too.
Yeah, so it will be very useful. She's not buffing with stamina, regen, and stuff, but still.
No, it's the new gear sets, the two monster helms. One is blatantly overpowered. It's the poop set, right? It's the one that basically has 2 5-pieces and a 2-piece. For those that don't know, Fasala's Guile, 5-piece, gives minor defile. Okay, minor. The other one, Wizard's Repost, minor maim, another 5-piece. This monster helm does it 100% of the time in an area because the duration is the cooldown. I'm looking around. That's crazy overpowered. If you're fighting in a tower, does damage, provides 2 debuffs, has 0 cooldown. Okay. Like, I mean, am I the only one that's like, dude, this is ridiculous? There's no other set that gives 2 awesome ass debuffs. The Zahn helm is getting exploited. Like, you can compare it with Elfbane. For those that don't know, I don't care. I'm telling you. It increases the duration by 2 seconds. Even though the animation's off, oh yeah, and it increases the damage of those 2 seconds, so it keeps on scaling. Which we told them about on the PTS, and they didn't fix. So, I mean, the gear sets are cool to collect and stuff, but I'm tired of like broken ass stuff coming out every single DLC. I get it. You have to give players incentive to buy the new content. I get it. But every DLC there's some broken ass thing coming out. Oh, disappointed. Sorry.
Just set shit on fire and don't worry about it, man. That's how I get by.
I think you're right with that. And I think some other developer are pushing away some of their patch because it's not pristine ready. And I do not really know why they are doing that way. I guess they have some business to respect, something like this. They need to release their content in certain specific timeline because they also have a PlayStation and Xbox to take care of, and so it might be complex from just a administrative kind of business way, and so they have to respect that. But I think it can damage the game so much more when you release with bugs. It piss off players. Some players are turn off. They there's too many games nowadays.
Yeah.
So if you have ESO, you're frustrated for whatever reason it is. You're frustrated by ESO. So okay, fuck it. I'm going to play Destiny. I'm going to play Final Fantasy. I'm going back to World of Warcraft. Whatever.
I'm going to Pornhub.
You can, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Whatever.
Do they have an MMO now?
Oh, you. Oh, no.
You should have seen that last boss. Oh my god.
That hard mode on that boss. Moving on before I get banned from YouTube. All right. So Battlegrounds, real quick. They added one Battleground. We'll briefly touch on this. No CP was the big change, and I haven't been doing a lot because I just been smacking people with Dawnbreakers and Cyrodiil testing AoE cap removal, which is fantastic, by the way. But it really seems to have a positive impact on Battlegrounds. People are reporting that there's a lot more going on. It's a lot more fun. You don't have the super survivable, indestructible tanks that block all day. They also changed the block cost. So, Sig, I know you're not big into PvP like that. Have you dipped your toes in that at all?
Not recently, but the reason I stopped playing Battlegrounds was because they went CP enabled. It just doesn't jive for me. So I'm glad they're back to no CP. To touch on that block cost, though, how many people, Deltia, do you know run reduced block cost and chance in PvP?
Now or in the past?
Just now. Nobody, right?
Nobody now.
Okay. So the new block cost reduction, they're talking about making it so it's harder to perma-block in PvP and everything. The way they changed that calculation, they put the flat point removal on the enchants at the top of the equation and the percentages behind it.
Okay.
It now actually costs less stamina to block in PvP than it did the previous patch. So perma-blocking is now easier to do than it was before.
Yeah, I remember that someone said that, but I'm not a math guy. I'm just a meathead that eats a lot. So
Lair actually brought that up, and he had a little video, about it, and then I went and found the calculations and made a little spreadsheet and started playing with it. And no matter, you put in max values and everything, and you see the max, cost at the end. But I started playing around with different possible values, and no matter what I put in there, it was always cheaper.
Really?
In this patch than it was in the previous one. Yep.
All right. Well, let's keep it positive for a little bit. I've been banging on them for a little bit.
Hey, it's positive. You don't have to spend as much stamina to block in PvP now.
All right. Now, the outfitting system, Sig already kind of said that he would like a little bit more fine-tuned stuff. Now, me personally, we have a Discord. You can hit ! Discord. We started an ESO fashion channel. So like, of course, right? To post pictures of us dressed up. And this game has just so much gear motifs. Someone's going to comment and be triggered by my saying. But it has so much stuff that it's cool to see the combinations of what you put together. I made like this Mana Marco looking badass healer wearing purple and gold. I mean, he looks spectacular, right? I spent on the BTS, a couple hours. I ain't gonna lie. But hey, you gotta look good to play good. It's a fact, okay? And this gives us the tools to do it. I love the system. Motives have skyrocketed. Plus, it gives players something to do, which is farm motives. So if they want to go kill little world bosses with their friends and make some gold and stuff, and someone has gold and doesn't want to dick around with it, I think it's a win-win. Now, it's not perfect, right? But what I like about it is it basically holds up all the motives that you have over all your characters, and you can access them on each character. That's what I love about the system. It's not like my orc dude has to get all the motives now. So I think they were generous on that, and that you get one free outfit, and then you can spend crowns for more. And I don't really care on the price because I think one for free is great, and it's little trinkets to dress up. So if they want to charge $100 for it, who cares? I don't, it doesn't bother me. I mean, they're charging tons of money for motives, but you can get it in game, so I don't see how that's pay to win. So overall, I love it. The very first thing on the server, I mean, it was about to crash the server. You go to Stormhaven, you go to Cyrodiil, you go to, anywhere. Everyone was at the dye station. Everyone. The consoles, they're going to crash it because they're going to be 300 people at the dye station. All right, Elloa, what do you think?
Well, I think it was a great system. They did it well. Not really satisfied with the prices, and I will tell you why. You have one outfit for free, okay? Other games have every outfit for free. You have much more, like 20 for free. But whatever, you have one for free. The cost, 1,500 krone for one other outfit, it's a bit much. That's one full month of ESO Plus. But, it's cosmetic. Let's not discuss too much about it. But then the price, when you want to change your outfit. So let's say you're a fashion addict. You have two characters, one male and one female. So you want to play doll with your female character. You want to change. You want to change outfit for every occasion, right? So you're playing with it. You have your outfit ready for the next roleplay event. You set it up, you're dressed. Then the next day you want to change it for another roleplay event, for instance. And then the cost to change each piece in gold is extremely expensive. So you can, of course, change it with a token that you buy in the Crown store again. But if you do not have several outfits, it will become difficult. So I think that the outfits slot are a bit overpriced. For what they are, they could have been a bit more generous. I would have estimated that at 500 kron, and I already find that expensive, but still 500 kron I would have been fine with this. Now it's the triple of what I thought it would be a correct price, so I'm not really satisfied about it. Personally, I've not used it because there was nothing in my outfit that pleased me. I prefer my costume. That are more expensive, I know, but I prefer my costume. So I'm dressing with my costume, and
really?
I didn't. Yeah, I'm wearing my. You do not have a very cool dress in the motifs. You just have armor and stuff. If I want to wear the cool stuff, it's in the costume. The more cool stuff, the more casual things. Yeah, but it's a question of taste. It's just aesthetic. Okay. The motifs are very nice, but it's very armory. Okay, that's true. If you want to look like you're in clothes, you need to use a costume.
God,
and
I didn't think you would. That. I did not think you would be dissatisfied with the outfitting system.
Yeah, well,
it's missing a lot of things that coming from other games and other systems that Elloa has seen and systems that I've seen. It's missing a lot of things to get that customization. Like my first experience with a system like this was the outfitting system in Lord of the Rings Online, and it was the same thing. You got one sheet on your character panel where you could customize your outfit, and then you had to buy more, with turbine points or whatever the hell they called them. To unlock other outfits, but you could take any piece of dropped armor that you got in the game and drop it in one of those slots and use it.
Okay, I see.
the costumes that they sold hats and backpacks and costumes and stuff. Just they're purely cosmetic. They don't do anything other than alter the way that your character looks. And you can take those costume pieces and drop them into the slots in your outfit. So what she's talking about is you've got your outfit panel in ESO, and you've got a like one of those, just like a pair of pants that you pickpocketed off of somebody.
Yeah.
Just the plain clothes. You should be able to take that and put it in your leg slot in the outfit system, or like well, again, like what I was talking about earlier, so if anybody watched ESO Live a couple weeks ago, Finn mentioned Lich Rambert, which was an internal name for the Lich boss in one of the dungeons. I actually have a character that's been named that for months, and it's been sitting around waiting for this system so that I could take Lich gear and put it on and make it look like an actual Lich in the game. And now the only way for me to do that is actually to run full Lich gear on every single, in every single slot.
Yeah.
Which means all it is just a parody character for fun. I wouldn't be able to do anything with it, But if I could take that gear, if I could take that Robes of the Lich set or whatever it's called, and use that as the cosmetic parts in the outfitting system, and then put on the gear that I really want to run on that character, I would be able to have so much fun with it, And that's a pure, parody, RP, whatever you want to call it, but I still want to be effective with it. So I can't make it look the way that I want it to and perform the way that I want it to at the same time.
They have said they will improve it, and they started like this. It's like the housing system. They start with something basic, and they will, develop more from it. And certainly with the feedback of the community, and so that's good. But yeah, really, what I do not like in the system, I find the system quite cool and satisfying for now. But what I do not like is the price, because the price is so expensive with gold. If you want to change your character, it kind of forces you to either get some outfit token or to purchase more outfit slot, because you cannot change once a week unless you have plenty of gold like Lady Ace or Inklings or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're not really rich and you role play all the time, you do not earn a lot of gold anyway, and that's really a feature for role players. So they're a little bit taxing them, I think. With a very cool system, it could have been a little bit more cheap. So that's my opinion.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't think, man. Yeah, I guess the games I played didn't have a robust outfitting system by the time I left, so I guess I really had nothing to compare it to. But like SWTOR was just drag and drop. That's what it was. So, But yeah, it would make sense to have both of those things. But in my opinion, I like it. So, real quick, final thoughts. We're coming close to time. Let's go with Elloa first. Dragonbone overall, how you feeling?
Yeah, I think it's besides the bugs and little this, I think it's a good patch. You have dungeon for people that want to do dungeon with different level of difficulty. You have fun stuff that improve the overall experience of the game. You have one new battleground for people that want to do that. I think there is activity for every kind of player, so we really can be satisfied about it. Most of the content is for free, so outfit system, storage, the leveling things, all of that is for free for everyone that passes the game. So if you want to enjoy yourself in Dragonbone and die horribly by poison or by undead dragon, well, you have to pay it or to be a subscriber.
Okay, Sig, what's your thoughts?
Overall, as a content patch, again, these definitely have the potential to be the best dungeons in the game for me. I think once they get fixed, specifically Scale Caller, once that's better, and we don't have to treat bugs as mechanics, I think they'll be outstanding. As far as the general, base game content changes, the outfitting system is a good start. Obviously, I think it needs a lot of work to be where I want it to be. And then, like some of the combat stuff that came down with the base game, I was in Vet Maw Friday night, and then regular Maw after that, and a couple of the crag trials yesterday, and like the off balance change and that kind of stuff, we're seeing it. The overall group DPS is down, so base game content, combat challenges, stuff like that. It's causing a lot of people, I think, to kind of reevaluate how they do things, but that's okay. People will get through it. I do have to say one thing that's just really been, it's a small little thing, but has been really freaking enjoyable, is the fact that synergies work.
Oh, good point.
Like, you walk up, you got that little indicator that you've got a synergy, you press the button, and it fucking happens. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Good point. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, it really feels responsive. It's a great change.
Yeah.
Okay, my final thoughts on Dragon Boner, as I like to call it. I'm impressed by it, honestly. I mean, obviously there's bugs with the treasure chest. There was an XP bug. The dungeons are bugged. And, I'm getting a little frustrated with that. But overall, I think that the dungeons were developed based on, who plays the game. Mostly casual, medium players with a really high-end, hardcore thing to do for meatballs like me that want to die for 2 hours. Loved it. They had really good incentives for the PvE content. Loved it. The thing that I really loved is the no AoE caps in PvP. It really felt like coordinated groups could dominate again. Especially like keep battles, tower battles, and stuff like that. So for me, the game felt I'm having a blast with it again. There was a point where I couldn't put it down. We were just having so much fun. And I hadn't felt that about Elder Scrolls Online in a year, honestly. And so it's that camaraderie that I like. And that when you can feel that your team is really impactful and you're achieving things, there's nothing better in this game. But it's like when you've achieved everything that you want to do, and it's kind of like I don't really feel connected to my guild, my friends, or I'm just kind of like logging in to do crafting writs. This game doesn't feel that good. And Dragon Bones gave me that initial, at least a week of it, of just like, let's get together, let's bring the band back, baby. We got new hard modes to do. So it was awesome week, awesome fun week. So okay.
So we can say that for the development team, so creativity and concept very good, execution, programming, coding, not so good.
That's so good. But hey, we were honest. All right, it's next week's topic, next Sunday, same time, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, or 21
Central Europe time. Not GTM, because that's just 20 for GTM.
Okay.
Because UK is before me, 1 hour.
You guys and your weird times over there.
It's just, it makes sense. 21, so we don't have to see PM or EM. It's just like,
do you weirdos have daylight savings times too, or you're just weird and don't have those?
Oh no, we have the savings time. That's boring.
I'm weird. I don't have daylight savings here, actually.
Arizona, creeper.
It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Not having to screw with my clock.
All right. So next week's topics.
Datamined. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Can I talk here? Next week's topics. Vote in the top right hand of my YouTube or Elloa if you're streaming. She'll have it in the chat.
I won't put it on.
Okay, we got one of two options. Datamined. Basically, there's some Datamined stuff which isn't anything official from ZOS, so it's speculation looking in game files. But they have been pretty accurate. Somerset Isles. And the information, we're thinking what the next chapter is going to be. It's going to be that. What's coming with it. So for us to break that down, show you, and speculate on it. Option 2, in case you didn't know, there was a big, huge exploit where essentially people were killing zombies or whatever in Imperial City and getting like 2 million experience points for it. So we want to propose, if you guys want to talk about, how developers should deal with cheating and exploit.
Set them on fire.
Okay. That's a real quick answer. We've got to talk for an hour about that. You know that, right?
Okay.
So next week, Delta, Sigtric, and myself, we come up with various type of different torture that we could propose to deal with the cheaters. We will see which one is the most evil and imaginative.
So, what? Okay. All right. So vote for one of those two things, not the torture method, because I'd win that. That'd be easy. So, yeah, stoning is what OP says. All right. Thanks for watching. And remember, Sig, you got to do it. Oh, do it.
It's you that needs to say first. You have
Time
not say your
out?
line. No.
Oh, wait.
What?
Wait.
Eat big, get big.
All right, that's it. Oh my god, worst
Come on,
episode
bye.
ever.